I don't know why that can't be an English voice. I always find it really funny. It's American. Let's see if I can't sort that shadow out. But for the reasons of the noise, I'm in different rooms all the time at the moment. For those of you that come regularly, I'm going to start closer to the screen, and then as we progress, I might move further away. And I'm in the darker room at the front of the house. I'm just going to sort out a bit more lighting. Yeah, that's a little bit brighter, isn't it? Oh, so welcome. This is our chair yoga class, and this chair yoga class is meant to be quite gentle. It's meant to be something that you can practice along with or just be present with. So depending on what physical sensations you're working with in your body today, you might choose to do a little less, and you might choose to do a little more. If you choose to do a little less or not at all, to skip something out, you might like to imagine the movements rather than actually physically doing them, because there is quite a lot of evidence to show that on a short-term basis, the imagining of still stimulates the muscles, even though you're not actually doing the physical movement. So just to bear that in mind, but we take things quite slow. We do a lot of breath work, constant awareness of breath. And we do a lot of movements, particularly around the neck and the face, to help stimulate the vagus nerve, which is the largest nerve of our resting part of the nervous system. So that's kind of what we're going to do. We're going to sort of slowly build up to some more generous physical movements. And then towards the last sort of 20, 15 minutes of session, we're going to be doing a relaxation. So for today, I'm going to choose to use a strap. Doesn't have to be a yoga strap, could be a scarf, a pair of tights, could be anything. A tie from your dressing gown. And if you don't have one, don't worry. You could just you could pretend that you have it, but it just gives us a little bit of something to work into. So if you have a strap or a scarf or a pair of tights handy, or a yoga belt, Pilates band, have that to hand. And then let's get started. So I'm just sitting into my chair, and you might choose to be self-supporting. So you might like to sit upright, or if you're feeling a little tired today, or the breath feels a little labored, you might like to take a gentle back support by bringing the back of the body into the back of your seat, into your chair. And then we start, as we always do, by just allowing ourselves to kind of arrive in our physical space. So just moving the head and the eyes around to notice where we are, particularly behind us. Can be reassuring for the system to know what's behind us, where the windows and the doors are, where we are in our physical space. And then we're going to take a grounding practice, and we're going to use sound, and we're going to use our hands and touch to help now bring this physical body into this place of practice. So we'll start by rubbing our hands together and maybe beginning to massage the hands. You might like to really look at the hands as you massage them, so bringing gentle attention in with the eyes as you begin to feel the massage of hands. And you're really just touching the hands in a way that feels satisfying and comforting to you. So I like to spread my thumb across the palm. And then I like to run fingers of one hand along the fingers of the other hand quite firmly off the end. And we have this wonderful skin on the palms of our hands, and it has a lot of sensory organs that send messages up to the mind, up to the brain. So when we use our hands and really help us get into the body with our attention, help drop out of the mind. So just notice as you look at the hands and you feel them, notice what you're thinking about, where the mind is. I'm just going to take a little sighing, yawning breath. So with a wide mouth, either just letting the breath roll out like a sigh, or maybe you're happy to make an R sound as you breathe out, which might bring about a yawn. Couple of those, just bringing some room around the mouth, bringing the massage around the wrists and around the forearms. And then we're going to move this massage of hands. We're going to come down into the feet. So you may not be able to reach your feet. Here comes another joiner. You may not be able to reach your feet by leaning down to them. You might need to put your foot up onto something in front of you. You might be happy to bring your foot onto your leg, but we're just going to bring that massage into the feet. Welcome to you if you've just joined. Lovely that all of you were able to make it this morning. I like quite a firm massage into the sole of my foot. You might like it a bit more gentle. And just really taking a moment to notice how it feels in the foot. I like to give a little squeeze around the heel, a little rub into the sole of the foot, a little stroke on the top of the foot and around the ankle. You might notice some tenderness, some tension, and then swapping the feet over when you're ready. And noticing the difference between the foot you've massaged and the foot that you haven't before you start on the other one. I'm just running my thumbs quite firmly down the sole of my foot. I give my heel a little bit of a squeeze and rub my fist in the sole of the foot, rub the top of the foot, give a little bit of movement into the toes. And the feet, no matter what we might think about how they look, they do an incredible job of supporting the body. Maybe we're moving around on the feet, but they just help bring balance to the body, whatever those feet get up to. And then bringing the hands around the ankles and squeeze to the ankles, and then bringing the feet down onto the floor and just noticing for a moment how it feels into the soles of the feet, just sort of massage them in the ankles and how much we can feel the feet now. And then let's come down to the lower legs. So we're going to use, I'll turn to the onto the camera and just wriggle back for a moment, just to slide the thumbs and the forefingers. I like to slide them quite firmly down the front of the shins. And then to rub the hands up the calf. So going down the front of the shins and then sliding the hands and maybe squeezing around the calves. I can feel tension in my calves, tightness. So we don't need to judge what we find, just to notice what's there. Coming up to the knees and circling around the knees, bringing a bit of warmth into the joints. Just feeling the knees. You might like, maybe there's a part of the knee that needs a little bit more attention. And then running the heel of the hand along the top of the thigh towards the knee. So there's a gentle pressure here. And you could also do that on the side of the leg. Moving the hands on the legs in a way that feels comforting and allows you to really just be in the experience of the body. I'm then going to take the palms of my hands and just circle them around my outer hips a little. And then move that circling around the back of the pelvis. I'm just going to circle. And you could pause at any moment you wanted to, just to feel the warmth of the hands or to let the hands rest. And I'm going to take a sounding breath. So we might make the sound with our lips together, like a humming breath. Or if you prefer, just a yawn or a sigh. I'm going to breathe in through the nose. And then with lips meeting. And bring the hands round onto the belly, and if it's comfortable and pleasant for you to stroke the belly, you could let that happen, or just choose to let the hands be on another part of the body. And we're following the digestive system in the soft spaces of the belly under the rib cage and above the pelvis as we come up on the right side and down on the left. Follow the root of the digestion. We're going to take another humming breath here, an easy breath in through the nose. We move the hands up onto the chest. You might like to be with fingertips if the full palm feels too much, or bring the hands onto another part of the body. And again, I'm just circling, just feeling the warmth. And we're trying to extend the breath out. So we're using that hum to bring us all that breath out through that yawn or side to make a longer breath out, which just slows the system down a little bit. So one more long breath out here, maybe with sound. And then we can cross the hands over the body and just squeeze and release as we work our way up to the shoulders and down the arms, a little squeeze and release. And then see if we can swap the hands over and just noticing how the arms and the shoulders feel. And then we're going to keep in this little embrace. So you can organize the arms as much as you wanted to in a cuddle around the body, what might feel comfortable. Hands up here or hands down there, or just holding the elbows. And just take a little swing, a little twist for the upper back. Just a little swing, and you might like to let the head drop. We'll take a long, smooth breath out. So it might be through a small space between the lips, or it could be another humming breath. And then we'll come up and we'll just reach the arms out to the side body, have a little bit of a stretch. Roll the wrists a few times, and then we're going to cross the arms the other way, bring the other arm on top. So it's the side that will feel a bit odd if you can't remember which one was on top, the sort of side that doesn't feel quite so easy maybe, or so available. Take that little rock, feel that rhythm. So just moving as fast as you would like. And then I'm going to take a breath in through the nose and a slow breath out through the mouth here, but you can make any sound you would like. And then coming to stillness, reaching the arms out again, just having a little stretch, maybe just rolling through the wrists. Oh, and then bringing these hands up onto the shoulders. Let's bring the fingertips onto the shoulders, and let's just take some shoulder rolls. And don't worry if your shoulder rolls look completely different to mine. Here is fine. Hands don't have to be on the shoulders either if that's uncomfortable. We're just trying to find as much room as we can in the body that we're living in today. What does this body feel like a shoulder roll might be like today? What's available today? Lifting up and back, just really feeling that stretch as the elbows come up, that length through the side body. And then we're going to use the hands, if we can make contact with the top of the shoulders, just rub and squeeze with the hands. So I'm actually coming quite far down the neck toward the back as I can. And I'm going to squeeze and release around the top of the shoulders a few times. And I'm going to drop my chin ever so slightly, and I'm just going to stroke my hands quite firmly down the neck, either side of the spine, and also down the side of the neck towards the collarbone. Jaw a little open. Space in the jaw, a little squeeze and release. So we're using our hands really to tend to ourselves. These hands that do all the work. And then bring the hands onto the face and just stroke around the face, massage the face in a way that might just feel really nice. And if you feel that your jaw often gets very tense, you let the mouth open, few fingers into that corner of the jaw and just firmly press and circle here. You get to see all my face wobbling and moving around. And then you might like to come up to the temples. And then you might like to slide the index fingers into the sort of semicircles of the eyes, just where they meet the bridge of the nose, and just press gently in and back. Hold that pressure for a moment and release. And then just maybe stroking really softly on the face, really gently. How gentle can you be with the face? And maybe I like to take little dancing fingertips over the face and maybe across the head. You could even run your fingers through your hair and give a very gentle little tug on the hair. I haven't brushed my hair yet since I had my shower this morning. Organize your hair, give a bit of it more, maybe even a firm, or maybe you want something a bit more dramatic, a little massage with the fingertips into the hair. Oh. And then let's just pause for a moment. Let's just pause. Let the hands rest where you might want them to go. And just notice where the attention goes in the body now. Does it go to the feet? Does it go to the head? Does it go to the hands? And can you in this moment get a sense of the whole body together? Can you open that attention to maybe experience all parts of the body? We're just going to take a little bit of breath work, and we're going to do it with the hands this morning. We're going to bring the hands onto the belly or just in front of the belly if you prefer. And we're just going to feel a couple of breaths as if we could breathe down in the body towards the hands. So breathing in, down to the hands. And breathing out from the hands up and out through the body. As much as possible, we're trying to breathe through the nose, but if you find that it helps you to breathe a longer breath out by breathing out through a small space in the lips or by making sound, then you could repeat those kinds of breaths as we do this together. And I'm going to breathe in through my nose and out through my nose. And just as you continue breathing down towards the hands, maybe you can begin to feel the belly moving towards the hands as you breathe in, and the belly moving back away from the hands as you breathe out. You may have a sense of that, and don't worry if you don't. Just imagine the breath moving down as deep as it can towards the hand. And we're going to bring a little movement in with the breath. So as we breathe in, we're actually going to take the arms a comfortable distance out to the side. And as we breathe out, we're going to bring them back onto the belly. We're going to repeat twice more. Breathing in, keeping my elbows quite close to the body as I take my hands away. And then breathing out, hands onto the body. And move at your own rhythm. Don't let me slow you down or speed you up. Find your own rhythm. Hands back onto the belly. Then we're going to slide the hands up and either rest them onto the chest or just in front of the chest. Take a couple of breaths. Imagine breathing down to the belly. But feel the breath moving under the hands as it moves up from the belly through the chest. Couple more breaths, just feeling what you can sense of the movement of the breath through the hands resting on the chest or just in front of it. And we're going to take 3 movements here, keeping the elbows close to the body. We're going to take the arms a comfortable distance away. And then as we breathe out, we're going to bring the hands back onto the chest. Twice more, with or without sound. It's up to you. Breathing in. Breathing out. And the closer you keep your elbows to the body, the more exaggerated that feeling of stretch will be across the top of the chest and the front of the shoulders. Yeah. And then rest the hands gently onto the collarbone. So the fingertips just resting onto the collarbone. So the palms of the hands that are resting against the top ribs. And take a couple of breaths. Imagine breathing down towards the belly. You're feeling belly, chest, collarbones. And then as you breathe out, feel the breath moving from the belly, from the chest, and from the collarbones. And just seeing if you can feel the point as the breath moves through the collarbones, under the fingertips and the palm. A couple more breaths just to see what you can feel in the breath, and not to worry if you can't feel it at all. Just imagining that journey of breath. And then we'll take that movement with the hands again when you're ready. Breathing in, arms wide. And breathing out, hands close to the body. And then seeing how close you can keep your elbows to the chest. Mine really floated away there. It's much more difficult, I find, to keep, particularly with the hands high on the chest. Really feeling that stretch. And then letting the hands rest. And slide the hands down to the belly. So now we're going to take 3 breaths, but we're going to move the hands up through the body as we take those 3 breaths. So we're going to start on the belly. We're going to take the arms out as we breathe in. As we breathe out, bring the hands onto the chest. As we breathe in, take the arms out. As we breathe out, hands onto the collarbones. And we're going to take this a few times, breathing in, and then hands back to the belly. So just keep the breath flowing, your rhythm, and just move from these 3 places as you breathe. So we'll start together with the hands on the belly, breathing in, arms wide. And then hands onto the chest as you breathe out. Breathing in, arms wide, elbows closed. Breathing out, hands onto the collarbone. Breathing in, arms wide. Breathing out, hands to belly. Oh, I tricked you there. Breathing in, arms wide. Hands to chest as you breathe out. Breathing in, arms wide. Hands to collarbones. Keep the breath flowing, breathing in, arms wide. Hands to belly as you breathe out. One last rotation, breathe in, arms wide. Hands to chest as you breathe out. Breathing in, arms wide. Hands to collarbone. And then let the hands just rest on the chest now. Maybe you might like to find that circle. And with all that instruction and the breathing and the moving, just notice where the mind is. Notice how possible it was for you to think about other things, or how possible or how difficult it was to concentrate on all that instruction. No judgment, but just to notice that sometimes when we're focused, we can quieten some of that mind chatter and let the hands just rest onto the upper chest for a moment. And take a few breaths. See if you can feel your feet. So you could scrunch your toes up, hold the scrunch of the toes and release. And just really let your attention drop into your feet. Feel the seat that you're sitting on. And then when you're ready, let the hands come down. And take a couple of shoulder rolls again. Let's bring some more movement through different parts of the spine, through the legs, through the arms. So these really generous shoulder rolls, and you could really squeeze and lift up and squeeze the shoulders back and press the shoulders down. If that felt good to you today, to really exaggerate that lift and squeeze, that squeezing back behind you and that pressing the shoulders down. One more time, squeeze, lift up, squeeze, lift back, squeeze and press down. Good. And then have a little dance of the shoulders. How loose can you let the shoulders be? You could, if your chair allowed, let your hands hang and just trying to get really loose through the shoulders. And if you had a little shimmy or a wriggle. What might that look like? You could let your head go. You might even like to shake the head a little bit. You could lift the head up a little bit and have a shake. Get really loose through the arms, through the head. And you just have a little jiggle and a shake. And we're going to take 3 lifts of the shoulders up as we breathe in. And then a breath out through the mouth, tongue out. Shoulder drop as we breathe out. Breathe in, lift the shoulders in through the nose, tongue out. Breath out through the mouth as we drop the shoulders. One more time. Squeeze and lift in through the nose, tongue out, breath out through the mouth. And let's drop the shoulder, or drop the ear rather, over to one shoulder. You could let the arms hang if that was comfortable for the shoulder. So the weight of the elbow and the wrist drops the body away from the head. So we can really feel the sense of length through the neck. We're going to bring the chin towards the chest as we come to the other side. So take a little half shoulder roll. Feeling all that rich sensation as you move the head slowly in this way from side to side. Finding as much fluid movement through the body as you can. Breath easy in the body. You like the humming sound, just staying with the humming, or the sighing, or the slow breath out through the mouth. And then bring the head and look down towards the belly. And let's just begin to open the chest a little bit. So let's feel that we're lifting up and out the lower back. We're really beginning to open the chest, lift the throat and look up towards the sky, comfortable distance up. And then without tucking the tailbone, so without rounding the back, can you bring your chin as close to your chest as possible? And then again, lifting out of the lower back, opening the chest a bit, lifting the throat, comfortable distance. You look up to the sky. And then bring the chin really deeply in towards the chest. So you can see I'm not really rounding my back here. I'm really just looking to mobilize the upper back and the neck. One more. And then go. And then let's begin just to free the spine a little bit. So let's just drop the left hand down to the side and let's let the hand get a little bit loose. Let the head drop towards the left. And just begin to slide towards the left. So my spine is taking a little bit of a side bend. So I'm sort of side bending gently towards the left. You go over as far as you would like. And you could rest your hand onto your arm if that's more comfortable, or if you're happy to, let it hover. And you could bring the right hand just onto the hip. Let the head be comfy. See how possible it is to really give away the weight of the head. And see if that right elbow wants to lift up towards the sky and to exaggerate that opening through the right side. See if that would be a nice thing to do. And maybe the right arm might like to lengthen a little bit, not necessarily, but it might like to lengthen a little bit. You might even like to play with the wrist a little bit. And take a really deep, smooth breath into the right side of the body. And as you breathe out, bring the arm down. Use the hands on the body for support if you need to. Bring the spine back to center. And then bring the head up. Oh, and take a little roll of the shoulders. So going slow, sometimes we can go a little deeper. And we might drop the right arm off to the side, or keep it on the hand if that's more comfortable. Drop the head to the right. Then we're going to bring in that side bend. So we're going to slide the body. Without coming forward, we want to stay with the chest a little bit sort of parallel to the space in front of us. Just coming comfortable distance to the side. Left hand can find the hip. Maybe the left elbow wants to reach up. Maybe it's not interested. Doesn't matter either way. Feeling maybe more length through the side body. Maybe that left arm would like to lengthen as well, maybe not. Keep the head as heavy as it can be. Take a smooth breath wherever you are, whatever shape you're in. And as you breathe out, we're going to return the hand onto the body. We're going to slowly keep the breath flowing, bring the chest back to center. and let the head come up. Really nice. Let's take a little twist together. So I'm going to sit to the side. I'm going to bring the hands onto the legs. Just notice how the side body feels in the waist and the back. And let's slide one hand forward and one hand back. Feet solid and heavy on the ground. And just begin to feel hands sliding on the legs. Feet heavy on the ground. Spine rotating. Let the head be free. See if you can lead through the chest, so that the head just follows the chest rather than leading with the head, which looks quite different. If you lead with the hand, leads the shoulder, leads the chest, leads the head. And then see how it would be to open up. If I turn back to the front now, to open up to the right side. So as the left hand slides forward, right hand slides back. Just be there for a moment, pause. You could change the position of the hand. You could take the right arm behind you to catch the chair, to hold the chair. And you could take that left hand across the body if you wanted to. Heavy in the pelvis, heavy in the feet. Notice if you're pushing your belly forward, soften your belly. Lift into the crown of the head. And take a smooth, slow breath. Back to center. Pause for a moment. Notice how it feels from left to right. And then swinging the arms again from side to side. And then this time we're going to twist to the left. So the right hand comes forward, left hand comes back. You may want to stay here. You may be able to bring the left elbow or hand onto the back of your chair. You may wish to cross the right hand over onto the left leg. And I'm going to settle into my pelvis, lift up into the crown of my head. As I breathe out, just see how it feels to bring the belly, chest, and how much of the shoulders and the head would like to turn around today. Maybe the head doesn't want to follow, and maybe it does. I'm going to take a smooth breath here. And then come back to center when you're ready. Coming back to center and just have a little swing, a little quick rotation, just noticing how that feels. Back. Okay, I'm going to move my chair back a little bit. Going to step the feet a little bit wider. Going to bring some movement through the lower part of the spine and into the leg. So we're going to begin to circle the chest. Circle the chest through the pelvis as if your spine and your chest was a big spoon and your pelvis and the space between your legs was the bowl, and you were stirring the spoon through the bowl. And you could really let your shoulders come into the movement, and you could fold forward if you chose to, if that suited your body today. And as you come back, you could tuck your tailbone and round the back. If I sit to the side, it would be a bit more obvious. And as you come forward, you could lengthen the front body. So come back, you could tuck and round. And you make this as big or as small as you want. And move as slowly as you would like. And you could really let any other little movements you want to come in here. Maybe you want to move your head. Maybe you want to change the rhythm. Sometimes coming forwards and back with the shoulders can feel quite nice. Notice what and how the body wants to move. And don't worry if this kind of movement feels really unnatural or a bit unusual. We're challenging the patterns of the body, which can be very useful for brain mapping the body differently. So waking up muscles maybe we don't normally use. Yeah. And then let's come back to center. Find your way back to a still point in amongst all that moving. Find a central point of weight down through the body and down through your feet. Just pause for a moment. You might like to return the hands to the chest. Circle the hands on the chest. Take a few breaths. Scrunch your toes up. Hold the scrunch and release. Feel the feet. Feel the pelvis on the chair. You might like to take a little sway or rock. Feel the seat you're sitting on. Feel the hands on the chest. And just take a couple of smooth, slow breaths, with or without sound. I'm going to take a couple of humming breaths here. Releasing the hands. So there's lots of time to notice how we're feeling as we move. We're going to take a little stretch for the legs, and there's the option now of using our belts. And I'm going to tilt the screen a little bit down for this one just so that it's a bit more obvious. So I'm going to sit to the side so it's easier for you to see. I'm going to invite those of you that can and want to sit more onto the edge of the chair. And I'm going to take my tights, my band, my whatever I have, and I'm going to loop it around the ball of my right foot. So I've got my left foot on the ground. I'm going to loop the band around the ball of my left foot. And I'm going to let that, right leg. And I'm going to let my right leg lengthen away from the body as much as it would like. It doesn't have to be straight. It might be much more bent. See how that leg would like to be. I'm going to let my elbows drop in towards my body and drop my shoulders down my back. I'm going to breathe in and sit up as tall as I can. And as I breathe out, moving from my hip joint, I'm going to begin to bring my spine forward and my bottom back behind me. And I'm going to look down towards my foot. And I'm not going to really pull on the belt, but I'm going to have a gentle pull on the belt, just a little bit to encourage the toes to move back towards the knee. Take a few breaths. See what feels right for you. If there's a lot of energy in your body today and the availability of it, you could float your foot up off the floor. So you'd have to begin to lean back, keep the elbows in close. Quite a lot of effort. You could just start with lifting it for a moment and seeing how it feels. But if it's available and it's something you want to explore, you could lift it up. You could even lift it and rest it onto something. But we're really looking to sit tall, and we're looking to make the leg as tall as we can as we take a few more breaths, whichever position we're choosing to be in. One last breath here, and then bring that right foot down onto the ground and slide the body back to upright. We're going to take that belt or that strap, and we're going to take hold of it in the left hand. Keep the spine nice and tall. I'm going to start to roll my right shoulder up and back. And if the shoulder feels good, you could start to roll the right elbow, make circles with the right elbow. And if the elbow felt good, you could move the arm. Circle the arm so you're moving into and towards this twist. Just seeing how it feels. And being gentle. And being in rhythm, so moving at the speed that works for you. Come back to center. Let's take the belt, bend the leg, and just sit for a moment. Notice how it feels. Take any little movements you need. You might want to stand up for a moment if that's available to you and sit back down again. You might want to do another movement. Just notice what the body might like, and then I'm going to sit to the other side. We're going to work the left leg. So I'm going to take the belt, put it underneath the ball of my left leg, and then let my left leg grow as long as it would like to be. So it may stay bent. You may find that the leg will lengthen. Elbows in toward the body. gentle encouragement, gentle pull on the belt as they sit up nice and tall. Easy breath in. And then as you breathe out, moving the belly and the chest towards the leg. Feeling the sit bones, the tailbone lift a little back behind you. Looking down at the foot, take a couple of breaths. Just meeting the sensation of that deep stretch through the back of the leg. If it's in your interest and availability this morning, sitting more upright, you could see how it might be to float the leg just for a moment or for a couple of breaths, you decide. Maybe just a fraction up off the floor, you may find that you can bring it more in line with the hip. Maybe the heel stays fully on the ground. There's no right way to do this movement. One more breath. And bringing that foot down. And keeping hold of the belt as we just sit more upright. We're going to take that belt or strap into the right hand. We're sitting nice and tall in the spine. I'm going to begin to roll my left shoulder. Maybe I just stay with rolling the shoulder, or maybe the elbow begins to roll. Maybe the elbow becomes the arm. One more time, and then come back to center, releasing the belt. Releasing the feet, just coming to sit. And then we'll give the legs a bit of a shake. So if standing is available to you, you could stand up at this point. Just give the legs a really good shake. If you're seated in the chair, you might just shift and raise one leg and then the other. Let the legs be as loose as they can be. That's my shaking Stevens wobble. We'll wobble out to the side. And then we're going to come and prepare for our relaxation. So you can stay in your chair and lean back in the chair. So if I sit to the side. So as we lean back, really tucking the tailbone, making sure the lower back's supported, maybe with a cushion. We've got some space in the front of the hips, so you might feel comfortable to let the legs slide away. You could have a cushion over the front of the body and rest your elbows on. And let the head drop a little bit, if that's comfortable for you. Or you could transition now onto your bed, onto the floor, onto the sofa, and you could put your legs up. So you could have a cushion under your head. I'm just going to demonstrate without. You could use your chair if that sort of transition was available for you to put your legs onto. Or maybe you just want to stay in your seat, but support the head and support the backs of the knees if you're lying down on the ground or you're reclining in some way. But all the physical movement in this practice has now come to a close. Well done for showing up. Well done for meeting and being with this body as it is in this moment. And now it's time to rest. Make sure you are warm enough. Make sure you are comfortable. There is time to attend to your comfort and to your warmth. Let there be a little space around the jaw. Take a yawn or a sigh. Let the lower jaw drop away from the upper jaw. Have a sense of the tongue resting broad and heavy in the back of the mouth as if it were preparing for sleep. The voice can rest. Feel the skin on the forehead soft and smooth. Around the corners of the eyes, soft and smooth. Corners of the nose and corners of the mouth, soft and smooth. As if all the muscles of the face could rest. No expression needed now. No particular way to show up in the world. The face can rest. And feeling into the weight of the head, supported on the top of the shoulders by the neck, maybe supported by cushions or pillows. Feel now the weight of your head. And now the head can rest. Move this gentle attention now down through the neck and the throat and the tops of the shoulders and the back of the shoulders. And down through the arms, into the hands, and along into each finger in turn. And now the neck and shoulders, arms and hands. Move this gentle light of attention into the center of the body around the upper back, the armpits and the upper chest, around the middle back, side ribs, and the center of the chest, around the lower back, through the waist and into the belly. The whole of the center of you. Feel the weight. And know that the center of you is welcome. That light of attention moves softly down through the pelvis, if you would like, and into the hips, making its way gradually with no rush down through the legs, through the feet, and into each toe in turn. And sense the weight of the pelvis, the legs, and feet. Know that they are welcome to rest. So see, feel, and now know your whole body, from the crown of your head to the tips of your fingers and the tips of your toes. Feel and know the whole of the back of the body, the whole of the front of the body, the whole of the left side, the whole of the right side, and the whole body together in this place, here and now, the whole of you, every single part. So very welcome. The whole of you moving towards the support beneath and around you now. Welcome to rest. Body welcome to give up that effort of holding structure. Mind welcome to give up effort of breath. The body can breathe you as if you were asleep. A gradual and soft unfolding into a sense of rest and ease. There's nothing that you need to do. Just simply make space for however this practice unfolds for you. You might like to come into relationship now with your breath. to simply know that you're breathing. You might like to hear the breath. You might like to feel it moving in the nose, or feel it moving in the body. This resting, breathing body. You might like to explore qualities of the breath. Gentle, soft rising of energy as you breathe in. And that passive release and surrender of breath as you breathe out. Surrendering of weight into the supports. Let your soft attention just ride the breath for a moment. Gentle, opening, expansive, quiet energy of the inhale, and that soft surrendering energy of the exhale. Perfectly balanced to bring you just what you need in this moment. You could just stay softly noticing the breathing as it rises and falls. Softly feeling the support for your body as your body opens into rest. Or if you would like, you could let go of any effort or tension just for this moment. How would it be to let go of any effort of thinking or doing? Just to be, just for this moment. And then when you feel ready, with no sense of rush, begin to refocus the attention, to call it back, to dial it up a little bit, just to see us through the end of the practice and out into the rest of our day. We do this slowly, as maybe first we begin to notice once again the position of the body. Know it, see it, and feel it in this shape, in this place, here and now. You might like to move a little into it, rock against the supports to stroke or touch the things that we're resting upon. We might like to re-feel into that breath and deliberately shape the breath now, breathing in a little longer and a little rounder to bring some of that lifting energy into our awareness. We might like to very slowly begin to flutter open and close the eyes if they were closed, or to refocus the eyes, maybe opening them wide and bright when we're ready, letting the sunlight come in. And then take a yawn or a stretch if you would like. Reaching out in whatever way feels good. Oh, take your time. You could give yourself a big hug if that spoke to you. This practice has now come to a close. Thank you for joining.